People ask me how I manage to come up with an amazing article every week. Here's my secret. I don't. I come up with an article that is not so great, and then I change it. I tweak it till it's better, and then change it again. Each time, looking for something that didn't seem right the first time around. I never come up with a good idea the first time around. Ask the honest shadchan. He'll tell you. What percentage of your attempts make it to the chuppah? The most successful shadchanim I know told me the secret recipe. I fail 50 times so that the 51st might send me an invitation. They are ready to fail before they start. They don't fear the, no, we're not interested. This is the secret recipe of the successful. Fail 9 times so that you will succeed on the 10th. The comedian needs to make 9 jokes so that the 10th might be funny. Then he doesn't tell you those bad jokes. He just tells you the funny ones. In writing or any other area where you need to come up with a good idea for something, if you need creativity, remember that your number one enemy is fear of failure. As long as your child is afraid of falling, he will never learn how to ride a bike. One boy I coached was afraid to date because he might get a no, or even worse, get married and then divorced. A young married fellow was afraid to open up emotionally out of fear of rejection. Napoleon was quoted, "He who fears being conquered is sure of defeat." I specialize in coaching for effective learning. More than one person says he can't read Talmud on his own and that he needs a tutor or some type of superior study partner to explain the entire section of Talmud being studied. So I ask him, can you read a piece of Talmud on your own? No. Okay. Let's see what happens when you try. The student reads the Mishnah out loud. After the first line, he says, I don't know what it's talking about. So I ask him, what did you understand? He says, nothing. Did you have 5% comprehension of the text? No. So I ask him, is it talking about X, Y, Z? He says, no. Ask him, how do you know? He says, because it's talking about ABC. So I ask him, you do understand 5%? Well, you don't understand 5%. After a few more questions, we realize that he knows closer to 60% of the information. And the reason why he gives up trying to read on his own is that he's afraid to get a 60. And I found this to be a very common problem. The ones who are the geniuses don't believe that you have to understand the info with 100% comprehension the first time around. Somehow they never assumed that one has to learn in such a way. This is many times the difference between those who make it in the study hall and those who don't. A successful yeshiva student learns in percentages of comprehension. The non-successful yeshiva student wants to get 100% comprehension the first time around. In Talmud study, sometimes you need to read ahead to get a picture of things, even if you don't understand 100% of what you are reading. You need to get however much of a percentage you can, the best percentage you can for a rough draft, and then come back for a second round, and then a third round. The Talmud tells us this. You need to learn the text at least 4 times before you can say, I got it. This is why the Talmud scholar, the Torah scholar, is called a Talmid Chacham. He is always in the studying stage. He always sees himself at 50% comprehension. En divrei Torah mitkaimim el b'mi shenichshal behem techila. So says the Gemara in Gittin 43a. He first reads the Gemara, knowing that his initial understanding is not absolute. The Aron Kodesh, the Holy Ark, is symbolic of the Torah scholar. Just as the Ark was gold on inside and on the outside, so too the Torah scholar needs to be genuine on the inside as he is on the surface. That's the Gemara in Yuma 72b. There are other allegories here between the Ark and the Torah scholar. The Ark had unique measurements, 2.5 by 1.5 and by 1.5. It was different from the other vessels in the Mishkan in that all its measurements included halves. To teach you that a student needs to look at himself as if he is still at partial percentage and has not reached Tachlita Chokhmah, 100% comprehension. That's how the Kli Yakar looks at this allegory. There is always room for another round to get a higher percentage of comprehension than what you are up to now. This is a twofold lesson. If a student says, I got it, and goes on thinking that he has reached maximum comprehension, this will stop him from advancing in his level of understanding and coming up with a new creative thought. You need to be ready to come back to the text, to learn it for another round. I got the idea, but I need to think it over. That is the frame of mind of those who come up with good questions, good answers, and new concepts. Take the telephone, for example. If you think that technology has reached its climax with the phones, you are in good company. With every new burst of technology, people think this way, that there is no more room for innovation. Those inventors who came up with new ideas first believe that there is always more to go. Just as there have been innovative ways of thinking since the time the Talmud was recorded, there continue to be new ideas to come up with. This is the first side of the coin with learning in percentage, seeing yourself only halfway there. The other side is being ready to fail, to learn in percentages. The all or nothing student who says to himself, if there are some words that I don't understand, if there is something not clear, then I didn't understand anything. That student is prevented from even trying. Those who are successful in the study hall are not necessarily smarter, they just have a different approach. They are willing to fail the first time around to reach just a 20% comprehension. And the second time around are ready to fail again, but with 60% comprehension. By the fourth time they are at 90% comprehension. They never shut off the engine during the first time around. The first round is somewhat of a rough draft, quickly going through today's material looking for what the text is generally talking about. In round two, we look for more detail, and the third round is putting it all together. It's not about speeding through the text, hoping to be the first or the fastest to finish. It's about getting the information in the most effective way, never getting stuck, never saying, I don't know what it's talking about, rather saying, I don't know yet. Rav Tzvi Meyer Silverberg Shlita said it the best. The Torah scholar utters a prayer upon entering the study hall and upon exiting. When entering, he says, may it be your will, God, that no mistakes come out of my learning, that I make no mistake in halakha, that my friends should be happy learning with me. And upon departure from the study hall, he says, I thank you, God, for having allotted my portion amongst those who sit in the study hall, and not amongst those who waste time. The student prays for the highest level of success in learning, and when he leaves, he expresses his thanks for just having sat in the study hall. How does that make any sense? What about all the hopes and dreams, the aspirations the student had and prayed to achieve? He did not have a successful study session. His friends told him, you didn't get it, and you made a mistake in halakha. And yet, he is thankful for just not sitting with the guys who chill. He is thankful for coming. What's going on? This is the mindset of the successful student. He aspires for the stars and settles for whatever he gets. He is happy even if he gets 20%, because 20% of comprehension in learning is worth so much.